Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Papa was cracking this D-Boss here to this video by I'm Just Saying. It's a very clever name, the way they spell saying, like Super Saiyan. Anyway, this video is called Every Genius Way Latto Crush Ice Spice. So somebody sent me this and said that Latto won the beef against Ice Spice, and they want to know my thoughts and what I think. I reacted to both of these ladies' albums over on my Patreon. I mean, that's not really the discussion, but there's a clear winner. In my opinion, but whatever. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say. Let's watch.
You know, all my life I've heard the term, while they're playing checkers, I'm playing chess. You hear it in movies, you hear it in music, and you hear it in your everyday life. But just in case your IQ is below freezing, know this is a popular analogy one uses when they want to express they think they possess superior intelligence to whomever they're comparing themselves to. It's often used as a metaphor during competition or wartime. And speaking of wartime, an ongoing war that I wish would end, but most likely will never end in my lifetime, is the diaspora war. If you're watching this and you're not of the melanin tribe, allow me to put you on. According to UrbanDictionary.com, the diaspora wars are scuffles of hatred and culture clashes between different members of the diaspora, i.e. Black Americans versus Black Brits, or Caribbeans versus Africans, or Africans versus African Americans. You get the point. It's all rooted in xenophobia and ignorance. Now, normally the diaspora war is fought in the field, but sometimes the diaspora war is fought in the house. Take today's topic of discussion as an example. Rap artist Latto. She's a light-skinned baddie who's currently at war with another light-skinned baddie who goes by the name Ice Spice. In my previous video, where I reviewed Ice Spice's debut album, I briefly touched on this. See, Latto pulled up to Ice Spice's old hood in the Bronx, and to nobody's surprise, Ice Spice wasn't there. See, these ladies have had Angus levels of beef for the past year or so, but I predict after I'm done instigating in this video, their beef will be promoted to Wagyu levels of beef. See, Ice Spice has been a commercial darling since she came on the scene 2 years ago with her hit single Munch, and since her rise to fame, she's been taking little pot shots at Latto and her music, with many speculating it was in fact Latto that Ice Spice was referencing when she said,
"Think you the shit, bitch? You're not even the fuck."
Now, many of you might be wondering, why are these two beefing in the first place? And to be honest, I don't know. And to be frank, I don't care. I'm simply an asshole on the internet, and I'm here to get some jokes off. Me reaching for a joke doesn't change the fact that this mediocre rap Cuban Missile Crisis is underway. Ice Spice was the first to make a move in this high yellow edition of Battleship. It all started with the release of Y2K. She called B2, and she missed Latto's shit with that whack-ass 23-minute album. And here we are a mere few weeks later, and Ice Spice's very own Gary Oak is here with her own album titled Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Coincidence? I think not. As stated earlier, this is the mediocre rapper Cuban Missile Crisis, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. We just have to let things play out. Now, I know all this uncertainty might scare some of you, but for what it's worth, at least it's good to know that when all-out war breaks out between these two women, we'll all be mentally prepared for either of these over-sexualized artists to rap something stupid about their... Listen, I'm a betting man, so I'll bet anyone in the comment section $5 that if Ice Spice is gonna respond to Latto, it'll be with some whack-ass bars about how she let Latto's man smash for revenge. She'll probably say something along the lines of, "Love me a scammer that's at least 6 feet tall. I let Latto's man hit and he had me screaming, tear down this wall." With all the jokes out of the way, it's time to turn our attention to the latest move in the diaspora war from Latto. She first burst onto the scene 13 years ago as a tween with footage of some of her old performances, even still up on her YouTube till this day. She originally went by the name Miss Mulatto until the internet bullied her into shortening her name. Why? Well, according to UrbanDictionary.com, a mulatto is someone who has one white and one black parent, or someone whose ancestors were also mixed with white and black, also known as mixed race. A lot of South American countries have large percentages of mulattoes, and the example they use is Bob Marley as a mulatto and Halle Berry. Now, growing up as an African American myself, I've heard this term used because I too have high yellow people in my family. But in my family, it was just used to describe someone with fair skin. But I also am not ignorant. Sometimes it's used by melanin deficient people or even colorists as a derogatory term because some people just don't like race mixing. Thus, some people are more sensitive to the word than others, and Latto found out the hard way. So I say smart move on her for changing her name because it's one of those cases where she most likely had no intention of offending anybody. Everyone's experience is different growing up. When you're trying to hit that global stage, you have to ask yourself, is this thing serving me or is it just hurting? That one move to change her name helped her get back on track before her career crashed and burned, and because of it, she eventually made the 2020 XXL freshman class. Now, before making the freshman class, I had heard Latto's name before and even some of her music, but truthfully, I wasn't paying her much mind because I didn't really see the vision. Matter of fact, I'd often get her confused with another rapper named Rennie Rucci because they had a similar look, similar music, and they came up around the same time. But once you make that XXL cover, I am forced to pay attention. And that's for 2 reasons. It's a legacy publication, so that's a major cosign. They're essentially saying you got next in the rap game. And because I'm honest, my audience loves my reactions to the freestyles and the ciphers. It's become a bit of an annual ritual over on my other channel, Hokage Highlights. If I recall correctly, I wasn't too impressed with Latto when she first graced the XXL stage.
Shanell, I'm fucking. You know Latto low key. I'm a young OG. You can't play a real P.I.M.P. I see my ex the other day, that nigga started to cry. I see the bitches sneak this and they no better to try. Cause like a check bag, we ain't let that shit fly. Big Latto got him being mad and you see why. I'm pimping niggas like China.
Truthfully, I didn't think she was bad. I just thought she had very generic boss babe.
Actually, I think the one that I liked was the actual freestyle, not like the individual one, but you know, when they're rapping over a beat and they're in a group. I think that's the one that I liked.
Bars that I've heard from countless
but that one still wasn't
I didn't
bad.
really see a reason to remain in tune with her movement. I would have never called her trash.
She also bodied the female cipher that she did with like a few other female rappers. I don't even remember their names. But it was just like a female, just all female cipher. I reacted to that as well, and I thought she did pretty good on that.
But I would say it wasn't for me. But since that XXL moment,
well, maybe I don't think she bodied it. I thought she did good. Some of the other girls outshined her in my opinion.
I took to Twitter to ask you, the viewer, to put me on to some new music, as my rotation has gotten a bit stale. And one thing I saw come up was to check out Latto's new album, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I had no intentions of listening to this project, but I'm a troll who's committed to the bit. My last video was about Ice Spice, so I figured I'd find a way to weave those 2 videos together so I can get some jokes off. And I'm glad that I did, because I have a confession. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is not bad, and I'm gonna touch on that more. Before I do, you know the rules for this channel. Before we review the music, we review the art. After all, the album cover is the original YouTube thumbnail. Back when you had to go to the store to purchase records, a great album cover would catch your attention and hopefully your purchase. If we take a look at Latto's album cover for Sugar Honey Iced Tea, there's a lot to unpack here. The first and most obvious thing is the excellent use of a deep squat on the cover. She's hitting a static pose commonly used in the fitness community to improve hip mobility. And here on this channel, we stand a queen who's using her influence to combat the obesity issue here in the United States. But I think what impressed me most is the fact she's hitting this deep squat static pose with heels on a wet floor. It speaks volumes to the strength of not only her hips, but her knees. I think this poses a subliminal message designed to let the viewer know her music is in fact the bee's knees, especially because the car in the back is slightly yellow, just like a bumblebee. And if you notice, she's cleaning a giant rim that resembles a Mass Effect relay. If you're unfamiliar, Mass Effect relays were used for space travel in a video game.
She's not cleaning anything. She's like wringing out the sponge.
These relays at the rim of space. She's cleaning a rim that looks like a Mass Effect relay. Coincidence? I think not. And if you put it all together, it's clear that Latto's trying to tell the world that intergalactic space travel is possible if we just clean up the damage the rich have done to this planet. Hence the giant R in the middle of the rim that looks like a Mass Effect relay. And she's also letting you know, if you want to go to space, you're going to need to get your weight under control. And the best way to do it is through a cleanse, hence the soap in water, but also why she's doing compound movements such as squats.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. Quit lying on me. Instead, let's shift our attention to the music. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is out now on every major streaming platform. It's 21 songs and about 1 hour and 2 minutes of runtime. I went to Sugar Honey Iced Tea with no expectations because I'm not a fan. And after listening to the project, I'm still not a fan, but I am starting to warm up to Latto. I have to be honest, this project's got some bangers on it. And not only that, but it also has a nice flow to it. You can tell Latto actually cares about what she's putting out. If there was ever a debate about who's the better rapper between her and Ice Spice, I need that to stop today. I have no horse in this race. I'm just being 100% honest. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is a collection of ignorant bangers that was well produced and even well written. People swear that I hate the newer artists simply because they're new, but in reality, it's because a lot of the new mainstream acts lack substance or any heart in their music. Latto can actually rap, and I think she's actually passionate about her craft. I define this album as sophisticated ignorant. And what I mean there is that there's a lot of arrogant boss babe music here, but it's well produced and it's full of quotables. Not to mention, this whole album passes the wit test. If you are looking for something to ride to in your car with, man, this album, it definitely bangs. Track 7 is titled Brokey, and the hook is infectious when she shouts Brokey with that reverb on her voice. I'd be alive to sit up here and say she didn't have me doing that little shoulder shimmy like 2016 Lil Uzi Vert. She makes very ratchet music, but she can actually rap. When she said, I'm in a fast coupe, she in a bad mood, funky bitch left her pussy in the bathroom. My face definitely scrunched up, and I thought to myself, I don't know who she's referring to, but she's definitely a funky dog-head bitch. On track 3 called Blick Something, she says, blick something if you love me, get something if you love me. You better not put nobody but your ops above me. Yeah, that's a tough double entendre. I gotta give it to her. And one last example I got for you is on track 17 titled Shout Out to Me, where she had a couple bars for Ice Spice. She goes on to say, now it's up with bitches talking spicy, I'm warm with y'all, and I ain't really letting up on y'all till the corner recall. Bye, sis. Funny thing about it, you can't look me in my eyes, sis. That's a tough play on words, because for those unaware, Ice Spice's name is Isis. And on that same record, she also said, who the hardest out, bitch? It's Latto by itself. Ice is just water when it melts, and I'll wipe you down. I got plenty towels on the shelf. The stuff she is saying is just far superior to, bitch, you think you're the shit? You're not even a fart. I mean, now, granted, a lot of the bars outside of that diss stuff is your typical my life is better than you bars, but I think the reason they don't wear out their welcome here is because of the clever wordplay, but also her flow. A lot of these songs are fun to listen to simply because she switches up her flow all throughout the album. Some songs, she's just floating on the beat, others she's using melodies, and then there's some that just have like different inflections in her voice that make it fun to listen to the music. And that's the stuff I look for. You don't have to drop Illmatic, just do something different from track to track to keep the listener engaged, which she managed to do on this album. And she even tried other stuff with songs like Ear Candy and Prized Possession, where she attempts to do some.
I thought he was doing a review. How did she crush Ice Spicy?
So for me, it's just weird to listen to. She does this whole 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing where she acts like she wants love, but then she's.
We're gonna wrap this up, all right? I feel like he's mainly saying she crushed Icy Spicy with her lyrical ability. And I mean, it's not a question. Latto is clearly the better rapper. I've been very vocal about that. But in my opinion, just because you're the better rapper, don't mean you're gonna make better music. So there's that. I gave my full thoughts about each of these ladies' albums. But yeah, I don't really know if I can say that Latto won the beef. I mean, was it even really a beef? I mean, they were going back and forth, but I don't really feel like it was an actual beef, so to speak. And I want them to stop, honestly, because who really cares? You know, you got the big dog beefs in female rap like Nicki and Meg, and then you got this. And it's just like, all right. Well, we're kind of over it. So hopefully Icy Spicy don't come back with something and try and take more shots at Latto. It's like, girl, just give it up. Just stop. But sure, some people think Latto won, I guess. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye!